Honorable Chairperson, good afternoon. Yes, Chairperson, the Auditor General is in, and I also see that the Audit Committee persons are in the meeting, Chairperson. Thank you.
No, sure. We're gonna start then shortly. Good afternoon, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. It has just gone past 2 o'clock. I want us to start the meeting of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. Let me make use of this opportunity and welcome everybody that has attended. And the meeting is going to take place in 2 parts. The first part is going to be the meeting of the Standing Committee of Public Accounts, where it is a closed session for purposes of the committee to be briefed by the Auditor General and the audit committees. It's closed in the sense that no members of the public will be allowed to attend the meeting until we go to the second part of the meeting, which will be an open meeting where we will open it to members of the public and to the department as well. Now, before we may start, honorable members, can I get an indication of members that are present at the meeting?
Deirdre Bartman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bartman.
Good afternoon, Chair.
signal to the department that we will call them in by 3 o'clock or so, because of the number of reports we thought we were going to look. So we thought maybe we might go maybe up to 3 o'clock, but we're almost there. Now, can you then start calling them? As soon as they are in, we'll get an indication. If they are in, it's now almost 5 to 3, maybe by 3 o'clock. Yeah. Can we just take a break for 5 minutes and resume at in 5 minutes time at 3 o'clock? Mr. Davids, is the Minister and the HOD in?
Honorable Chairperson, yes, the Honorable Minister and the HOD is in, Chairperson. Thank you.
Afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Hi, good afternoon.
I think we are just going to start soon. I think it looks like almost everybody who's supposed to be in the meeting is in, and it has just gone 3 o'clock now. We are now going to approach our second part of the meeting of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. For purposes of looking into the annual report of the Department of Economic Development, together with its entity, which is Westcro and the Saldanha. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, honorable members?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can, Chair.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, the Saldanha Industrial Development Zone. Now, this meeting is the second part of the meeting that we've held, and this second part of the meeting, it's an open meeting, meaning that it is open to the public. It is also for purposes of getting a report from the department with its entities and the annual report of the department. Now, we are going to allow honorable members, once the remarks have been made by the honorable minister as well as the HOD, will allow honorable members to ask questions and interact with the report. And thereafter, if there are members of the public that would like to ask questions, we will allow them to ask questions. And thereafter, the committee will sit on its own to take resolutions based on the discussion that has taken place. To emphasize further that the meeting is open to the public, it was advertised as such in 3 languages, in 3 newspapers. For English, it was advertised in August. For Afrikaans, it was advertised in the Burgers. And for isiXhosa, it was advertised in Vukani. So now, without any waste of time, honorable members, just want to check, honorable ministers, are there any remark that you'd like to make?
Thank you, Chairperson. I would like to make very brief opening remarks, and just simply to say that it gives me a great pleasure, obviously, to present the Part C and Part E sections of the department and indeed the public entities, Westcro, Saldanha Bay, IDZ, and Atlantis SEZ, to the various reports for for the last financial year, the 2020-21 financial year. And of course, we are delighted that the department received a clean audit. Chairperson, one participant who you may not know is the incoming Chief Executive Officer of Westcro, Renel Stander, who we certainly welcome. And one participant who you'll know well, Mr. Solly Fourie, who is the HOD and Accounting Officer of the department. I just wanted to alert you to the fact that we are at the end of this financial year saying goodbye to Mr. Fourie, who will be retiring. So with that, Chairperson, we are delighted to join you this afternoon, and we are obviously in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I don't know what if the HOD had anything would like to say in opening up.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. No, I don't have anything major to add other than after 12 years of being in public service, it has been an exciting time. And again, I'm very grateful for the team, and particularly my finance team, under the leadership of the CFO, that we could once again have a clean audit. But I think it's important that we deliver and have governance at the same time. And I'm glad that this department was able to do so. Thank you very much, Chair. And also want to thank the Minister for his guidance, Minister Mania, and support during the year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD. Now, honorable members, I would like to present to you now the report of the department, and we are going to deal with, I want us the way we are going to deal with it. We are going to deal with the report of the department together with the entities. At the same time, we are going to start with section C of the report. Can I get an indication of those members who would like to ask questions on section C of the reports? Honorable members. Honorable Barnes.
Thank you, Chair. Perhaps it's not a question, but rather a comment on page 152 under the SCOPA resolutions under section C. We note, Chair, that both SCOPA resolutions have not been resolved, notwithstanding the response by the department in relation to the succession plan of the HOD. One would perhaps just want to get a reaction on this matter, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Barnes. Is that only on the department? Your question is only on the department? Eh?
Yes, Chair, it's on the department, section C.
Okay. Now, nothing on the entities, the Westgrow as well as the Saldanha. If there's nothing, then honorable members, I'm going to hand over to the departments. Can they please respond?
Chair, I don't know. Yeah, Chair, I noted that the question was on page 152, and particular reference to the succession plan of the HOD. I'm aware that processes are in place, and I'm sure the minister would be more suited to respond to that. But that the position have been advertised, and of course this comes at the end of a 12 months extension, because we wanted to make sure that there is a proper handover period for the new person. I'm leaving at the end of March, and so there should be an adequate period between an appointment and a handover, Chair. I don't know if Minister would like to add to that.
Thank you very much. I can confirm, Chairperson, that the position has been advertised, and the advert will close, I think, in the next week or two. Obviously, the department is a strong department with a strong leadership team, and once the current HOD successor has been identified, obviously we will put in place a very detailed handover. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, honorable members, if there are no further questions on section C of the department as well as the entities, I want us now to move to section E of the reports of both the department and its entities. can I get an indication of questions? Is that still you, Honorable Barnes? Or was that a previous hand?
No, Chair, that's still me.
Okay, please go ahead, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Once again, my question to the department will be on page 206 under the heading of Consultants, Business and Advisory Services, 21,809,000. Is this 21 million for consultants not excessive, or can we just get an explanation for how much would be 21 million be stipulated for? Chair, my second question will then be to the entities, the internal control deficiencies, that's on page 85. Management does not have sufficient and adequate documented and signed standard operating procedures defining what supported means. Chair, this raises a serious concern on quality of reporting and the ability of Westgrow account. The worst part is that these are repeats of last year's report. The AG raised these concerns last year as well. I would appreciate the reaction on that comment as well, Chair. I thank you.
Honorable America.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, my question relates to the impairment cost that has significantly increased from the previous financial year, and it is understandable due to the impact that COVID-19 had on the CTICC. Now, my question is, in terms of the losses that may sort of be impaired by the CTICC, what would be the financial sustainability of the CTICC in the context of a prolonged COVID-19 pandemic, and secondly, would one, have assurance that the CTICC is still a going concern, given the impact COVID-19 has on its operations? Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Honorable America.
Chair, are those all the questions, Chair?
Yes, I should.
Thank you very much. Chair, I'll ask the CFO to respond on the consultants, the 21 million, and then I'll do the one on the future sustainability of the CTICC and the going concern question.
Thank you, HUD. I think with regard to the consultants, the detail in terms of the consultants is in the section Part D, page 191. But maybe just to give the member some assurance that when we look at consultants and the appointment of consultants, we specifically have very strict criteria that's set by National Treasury, where we look at whether there's internal capacity and whether the need for the consultant is properly motivated in terms of technical skills. So in terms of our strategic priorities, and specifically when we look at the Municipal Energy Resilience Program, within our department, the technical skills that is required to actually deliver on that area is not available within a department, and we would need to go to the market to actually obtain those technical skills. It would obviously be far more expensive for the department to organize it or restructure its organogram and have that skills on a permanent basis, given that we only really need it for a short-term basis. So it's properly motivated, and it specifically looks only at technical skills and not services that is available within the department. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Abrams. Chair, with regards to the questions on the future sustainability of the CTICC, as members would know, the CTICC is managed by a board appointed by its shareholders and by the company. The shareholders being the majority shareholder, the City of Cape Town, and additional shareholding by ourselves and the SunWest Group. And the board has responded to the significant challenges that the reduced revenue has brought about, with immediate actions to reduce costs of CTICC and to reimagine the purposes of the CTICC over the short, medium, and longer term. As we currently speak, and at the end of this financial period that we're looking at, CTICC was very definitely a going concern. We have seen a slight uptick in the fortunes of the CTICC, and the City of Cape Town, as a major shareholder, has also agreed to a support tranche as and when it is required, up to a certain maximum, in exchange for additional shares. And I think that shows the commitment of the CTICC Board of Directors to ensure that the business remains a going concern, and to ensure that future trends are monitored very, very closely, and that responses to the external shocks that may be there for the business tourism sector, that those future shocks can be addressed. So at this particular point in time, as we're looking at CTICC, it is a going concern. There is a future sustainability plan which the Board of Directors has endorsed, and we are sure that as the sector, the business tourism sector, recovers, CTICC will also. But in the case it doesn't, the CTICC board has, through its strategic session, adopted certain other forms of reimagining the organization so that it actually continues as a business entity. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, the internal control deficiencies, that was particularly aimed, I think, at Wesgro or the entities. I'm not, yeah. So I'll just ask over to Wesgro to respond.
Thanks, Solly. Chair, I'm going to ask the chairman of the audit committee, Ian Bartis, to kick off, and to be supported by Koleka Zama, the CFO of Wesgro. Ian? Okay, if we don't have Ian,
sorry, sorry about that.
Chair, can I just
before you may start, Honorable America, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I was just going to say that Mr. Bartis has adequately responded to the question in the earlier session. So I don't think if there's anything new that Mr. Bartis would like to add, certainly, it's welcomed, of course.
Well, I can maybe just add one more thing and to say that, it's been a particularly difficult year in the sense that the Auditor General this year has been very technical on our stuff. This particular indicator was utilized before, and it's not the first time it's on our annual plan. So it's the first time that they've highlighted the usefulness of this particular indicator. So, and as I said before, the indicator is relates to not the monetary transactions, it's more the efforts of the Westgrow internal staff to support events. So from that point of view, the risk that this internal control deficiency posed was not really that high. So maybe we should not spend too much time on it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, honorable members. I would like to refer the members to page 52 of the performance information that relates specifically to this issue. So within the DMO space in the performance information, we've got 4 target indicators that we articulated in our annual performance plan. And the first target indicates the output is initiative supported. Where the issue was in the technical indicator descriptors, supported was not sufficiently explained to enable the Auditor General to audit that specific output. And the activity is demand-led in line with the industry request. So it's not easy to articulate it in the technical indicators. And because we had put it into our annual performance plan, we could not remove it in our annual report. Going forward, what we've resolved to do is to remove this target because it's demand-led, we can't preempt a technical indicator for it. So we will continue with the activities to support the industry, but we will then no longer articulate the achievement in this area. We will incorporate the achievements in the narratives versus it being auditable numbers. So the activity of Westgrow will not be diminished by us excluding it in the future APPs. Thank you.
Honorable Kego.
Thanks, Chair. Mine on Part C is on page 145. Under the
Part
first
C,
table.
Part E.
Part C. We are done with Part C?
Okay, no, I'll allow you.
Okay. On page 145, under the table, first table there seems to be a report around the Director for Business Regulations and Chief Director of Digital Economy attending only a single meeting in each year out of only 3 meetings. So if we would want to get an understanding as to why should that happen, that the whole director or chief director for that matter is not attending meetings, what could be the rationale and the reasons behind that? And then on page 146, under the title Key Strategic Risks Considered and Addressed During the year, would want to know how did the department address this key risk strategy as some kind of strategy. And then on page 148, what I would want to understand is that in each and every annual report, the department makes that pronouncement about the anti-fraud and corruption strategy. And due to the use of this phrase, it creates an impression that the strategy is proactive and its aim is to curb the fraud and corruption. But the only thing that we notice that there are cases that occurred, and of which sounds like it's now the strategy itself it's a reactive measure more than a proactive measure. Would the department be in a position to tell us that the fraud and anti-corruption strategy, if it is effective, and how so? And then on page 156, under the table 13, can the department explain to us in short, simple terms, why it has not developed and implemented a preferential procurement policy under the BBBEE? So, because it has been noted there that what we call it, the procurement policy is not there. What could be the reason and the rationale behind that? That's it, Chair, from my side. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kago. Department.
Sorry, Chair, on page 145, obviously the quorum that we require for GovCom is that we must have 60% of the members present, and the Director Acting of Business Regulation, he obviously there were times when he had to make an apology, as well as the Chief Director of Digital Economy. So I know that the meeting attendance is that we everybody attended 3 meetings for the year, but the apologies were received from the two gentlemen. Those apologies were accepted, but it did not impede the workings of the GovCom because we had sufficient people to make the decisions. On page 146. With regards to the key risks that the department has, our key risks are all recorded in our risk register, and that risks have got its contributing factors as well as its mitigations. And then we assign, as members would know, we then assign a inherent risk rating. And then we apply any kind of remedial or mitigating actions or further mitigating actions. And then we have the residual risk rating that is there. And when those risks are in tolerance, within our tolerance level, then obviously we keep an eye on them, but they don't require any immediate kind of actions other than the ones that is in our mitigation reports. And that is clearly depicted in our very comprehensive risk register that addresses those risks. On page 148, the fraud and corruption strategy and approach. The strategy is actually aimed at being a proactive strategy. But the part of our strategy for fraud and corruption is that where we've got any potential cases of either potential fraud or potential irregular expenditure, one of the major tools that the department then uses is the ability of us to utilize the Provincial Forensic Investigative Unit that then does a thorough investigation on that. And it's part and parcel of where things are not going right, then we utilize that role. And as you can see on page 148, as of the 1st of April, we had two open cases. We had 1 additional case during the year. We had 2 cases resolved. And as of the end of March, the 1 case was still under investigation. I'm confident that those cases are all dealt with in a manner that speaks of a commitment to ensuring that fraud and corruption is not tolerated within the department, but is responded to in an immediate way, which the policy then allows us to do. On page 156, the question that Member Echo has with regards to the preferential procurement policy. We follow the supply chain management regulations as determined by the Supply Chain Management Act and the need for the Broad-Based Economic Empowerment Act, and the need for us to provide the regular scoring and to make sure that we apply it to effectively. We in our previous meeting, we indicated on page, I don't know where we had the consultants, if somebody can just help me with that page. I think it was in number D. Yeah, I'll just get it now quickly. On page 191, table 315, we came to the conclusion that 58% of consultants appointed were triple BEE level 1 and 2, which shows a strong commitment of the department to support preferential or broad-based black economic empowerment procurement. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD. Honorable members, are there any further questions? Now, honorable members, then if there are no further questions, that means that so far as allowing honorable members to ask questions, we have finished that part. I'm now going to allow the public to ask questions, those members of the public that are present or that have indicated that they would like to ask questions. I will give an opportunity to them. I will ask Mr. David to indicate whether are there any member of the public present and any who has also indicated that they would like to ask questions. Mr. David.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. No, there was no indication from the members of the public, Chair, to participate in this meeting today. And I'm scrolling through the attendees list in this meeting, Chair, and there's no hands that has been raised from potential members of the public.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. David. Are there any comments from, as we are about to close, from the audit committees?
None from my side, Chair.
That is Mr.
Roda.
Mr. Yes. Patches.
None from my side, Mr. Chair.
Then,
none from me either, Chair. Paul Slack.
Thank you very much. If there are no comments there from the audit committee, AG. Any comments from the Auditor General?
No further comments. Chair, no further comments from us. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. HOD, I know it might be your, as it has been indicated, might be your last comment or as a parting shot. Are there any comments from your side?
Chair, now I really just want to thank the Standing Committee on Public Accounts under your leadership, Chair, for always applying yourselves to ensure that the oversight is done properly and adequately, and it keeps us on the straight and narrow. So thank you very much for that, and to the members as well. And I also want to thank all of the risk assurance providers that support us, the AG, the audit committee under Richard Roda's leadership for the department, and the internal audit team, under Sally Martin's and Ms. Cancross's leadership, where they support us, as well as the risk management team in ERM, the Department of the Premier. It just helps to ensure that we've got a strong governance platform, and that we seek to deliver adequately on the mandates that's given to us. So thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD. Honorable Minister.
Chairperson, I just wanted to thank you and the committee members for the opportunity to appear this afternoon. And I certainly wish you a good day further.
Honorable Minister. Like,
thank you, Chairperson. I wondered if was I not audible?
No, yeah, I think it looked like you were cut off or something, lost connection.
Chairperson, I really just wanted to thank you and also the committee members, obviously, together with all the teams from the department and from the entity. I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to appear before the committee this afternoon and assure you of my personal commitment and, of course, the team's commitment to good governance in our departments and entities.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much to you also and your department for always being available whenever we make a request or make a call that the department under your leadership comes and makes its presentation in front of the Standing Committee on Public Account. Thank you very much for your cooperation in that regard. Also to the department led by the HOD, Mr. Fori, thank you very much as well for your cooperation, for always being available. Obviously, we are going to be missing you, and then hopefully that we are going to go and rest and then don't stop being, always be a public servant. You know, I normally say to people who are public servants and public figures, once a public servant, always a public servant. You might be still serving the public in one way or the other because of your valuable knowledge and experience as well, which I normally regard that as institutional memory, and then it must actually not go to waste. Please make use of it in spite of you having, you'll be retiring. Maybe don't be surprised now and then we might try to call on you and tap on your knowledge and experience. Otherwise, I wish you very well in your retirement. Thank you very much. I see Honorable Maseko's hand is up.
Chair, thank you very much. I think I won't be okay if I can not talk to the HOD. You know, this is the second time that I've been interacting with him from the standing committee. And we came into these committees, coming to the Parliament, and he's one of the HODs that had made sure that he shares the information and made sure that we really understand the operations of these departments, which we really appreciate everything that you have instilled in us, not only on the department, because also the members have learned a lot from you, sharing the information and how the departments are operating, everything that you have planted within the department. We also benefited in getting information from you. So I really wanted to just salute and go and rest. You really have left a beautiful team in that department, and I tend to believe they'll be making you proud throughout as you'll be on the touchline watching them flourishing with everything that you have planted within the grounds of the department. Thank you very much, Chair. We appreciate you, HOD.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Member Soka. It's very, 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 very humbling. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, HOD, once again. And also thank you very much to the Audit Committee and its members, the chairperson and the rest of the committee. Thank you very much for always being available as well, and whenever we are calling on you. And also thank you very much for always playing your watchdog role in the respective departments and the entity. Thank you very much. We are now going to go to the next session of the committee. So therefore, Honorable Minister and the department would like to excuse you so that we can continue with the work of the committee. The department and the minister and the audit committees as well as the AGs are excused.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Are there other people? Which other people are still in, Mr. David?
Chair, I'm just ejecting some people, Chair. Just removing some people quickly. Chair, it's just the committee members that's now in the meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Davids. Now, honorable members, it's been a marathon of meetings since the start of the 8th of November. It's been time consuming, and then I've seen you being dedicated and committed in attending most of the meetings, and then of course I know some of you also, those who could not make it, you will always make sure that there are alternative members that are actually attending. We are now on the last, this is the last meeting that we are having of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts for purposes of looking on the annual reports. I just want us to take resolutions. After that, there are just one or two other issues I would like to share with you. Firstly, let's start with the resolution. Are there any proposal for resolution on the department and the entities? Okay, if there are no resolution then on this, honorable members, now what we'll do then is that there are still 4 more departments, Mr. Davids, that we must still meet with.
Yes, Chair, you're correct.
And then, but I'll come back to that now, but I want us to first deal, just for information, if there are no resolution, I want us to deal with, there is a communication that has been sent by APEC, where the Auditor General will be visiting, will be actually doing a roadshow on the PFMA report for this financial year, for 2020 and 2021. So this is more of a information request as well as an information for members to participate and take part in that. So if members can just respond and indicate on their availability there. That's really for information, honorable members. If there are any points or questions or point of clarity, if there are none, then as I said, that was just for information. The next issue is around the meetings of next year, which according to the programming authority, programming committee, it's supposed to be towards the end of, I think it's the last week, Mr. Davids, of January next year.
Yeah, somewhere there, Chairperson.
Yeah. Now, of course, I must say, in finalizing the program with the Office of the Chief, we have been very helpful in finalizing the program together with the procedural officers. Now, I know the last time, honorable members, we had meetings. We tried to have 2 meetings or 3 meetings, looking at 2 to 3 departments a day. That has proven to be very time consuming and very exhausting. And I would like us to actually this time be seeing that it's only 4 departments. If we can look at 1 department a day, and preferably be it in the morning if it can be, because if we want to look for all that we would like to see and meet with all the departments in 1 day or 2 days and try to see more than 1 department a day, I think it will be time consuming and it will be very exhausting. I don't know what is the views of the members. Honorable Bartman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I know with Provincial Treasury, what we've done is in the Finance Committee, we've also postponed our A, B, and D parts because we want to hear all of the information on the same day. So in terms of Provincial Treasury and its entity, my advice would be to do all of that on one particular day. I'm not sure if other committees have done similar exercises. Thank you.
So that will be in the morning, it will be your committee, then in the afternoon, it will be the SCOPA.
Yes, Chair. So it will be Provincial Treasury and Gambling for the Standing Committee in the morning and SCOPA for the same 2 in the afternoon. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because it look like, I think we should just stick to that then, 1 department a day. If we must sit for 3 or 4 days, I think let us stick to that. I agree with that. Honorable Batman.
Apologies. If there are departments that only needs to do SCOPA, then perhaps we can do 2 SCOPA sessions or 3 SCOPA sessions then on 1 day. But that only makes really sense, I think, if there are no other standing committees that also need to sit. So with your indulgence, I think we can leave it to yourself and the procedural officer to find out what sessions there are still left for us to do. Thanks.
Okay. No, that's fine. Then I hear you. Preferably if some of the departments, because I know some departments, they did do their A and B and T part. So those that didn't do, that probably might even be short. I really don't have a problem with that. I think we'll deal with it then as it comes. No, thank you very much then, honorable members. If there is no other issues, other point of clarity, once again, let me make use of this opportunity to thank you very much for your attendance, for your cooperation, and also for your commitment to the work of the committee to ensure that we pursue the idea of good governance and also holding the executive to account. I see there's a hands from the procedural officers. Let me start with Mrs. Klute.
Good day, Chairperson. Good day, members. Chairperson, the committee should also maybe apply their mind with regards to the Department of Agriculture, since I think members saw the latest ATC with the judgment of the High Court, and that PAC should, I can just, Dustin, just update the committee. He's got some more information. You may go away, Dustin.
No, thank you, Ms. Klute. If you can just continue on that because I'm just on another matter for the chair.
Okay. Sorry, Chairperson. Yeah, so the financials from the 2016-17 financial year, it was tabled up till 2020-2021. So I would maybe advise the committee to either set aside a day to deal with agriculture only, or the committee could decide, since they won't be sitting with the performance information in the morning, since the Standing Committee on Agriculture met already for all those financial years. So the committee must maybe just apply their mind and think, how are they going to deal with the financial aspects or section C and E of Department of Agriculture and its entities.
Thank you very much, Ms. Klute. Now, on that matter, I know the outcomes was in favor of the department. Do you know whether is the AG appealing the matter?
Yes, Chief. Okay.
No, go for it, Lizette.
The last communication we received, the last communication we received is that they will be appealing the matter. But what I'll do is I'll follow up with with Kevin and just ask him what is the way forward. But in terms of the committee, when it's usually ATC'd and there's no appeal that we've been formally informed about, or the department, then we usually do planning. But since this will be the last committee meeting, I think this is a decision, chairperson in committee, we can maybe take a round robin via emails to decide on the way forward once we receive clarity from the AG office if they're going to appeal the decision or the judgment.
No, sure. We'll take note of that. Mr. Davids?
Chairperson, thank you. Chair, also just perhaps for the committee's indulgence and decision for the committee's report on this annual report, Chairperson, I would like to propose, Chairperson, to you and to the committee that the report of this committee on all of the departments be considered at the end of after the last meeting with the last department in January, Chairperson, so that the committee can then adopt and send out to the Western Cape government departments one holistic report, Chairperson. I don't know how you feel about that, Chairperson, you and the members.
I think I don't have a problem with that, honorable members. Supported by Honorable America. No, that's fine, then we'll do as such. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Bartman as well, supported. Okay. Now, then, honorable members, Honorable Maseko also support, that's unanimously agreed. Then, honorable members, if there is nothing else, once again, let me thank you. But also, last but not the least, honorable members, to thank the ever available staff members, especially in the form of the Senior Procedural Officer, Mrs. Lizette. Thank you very much for the support behind the scene, making sure that the smooth running of the committee meetings and all the communication that we've been having. And of course, the procedural officer, Mr. Dustin Davids, forever helpful and also forever available for opinion and advice as well, and ensuring that once again the smoother running of the committees and its activities. Thank you very much. Your contribution and your commitment to the work of the committee is highly appreciated. And of course, the IT department as well. Today I see it's been represented by Mr. Clarence Esau. Thank you very much for ensuring that once again the smooth running. I see Masintle as well has always been very much available and helpful. That's highly appreciated. And I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas if we don't see each other again, and also make sure that we are actually having a prosperous New Year. Thank you very much, honorable members and members of staff. We'll see each other in the next committee meeting. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.